This is another lecture on how to collaborate with GitHub. In particular, I want to explain to you how to handle SSH keys. If you use the SSH protocol, it is easier to collaborate with GitHub because you don't need to give the password every time you want to push into the GitHub repository. However, I will tell you that there is also another way if you want to stick with HTTPS protocol. If you go to this site, and I will now increase a little bit the size, I will show you in a while. If you go to this site, https help.github.com article caching your GitHub password in Git, you will find instruction on how to say to GitHub to do a timeout after you give for the first time your password to access a Git repository with HTTPS. If you follow this instruction, you have to do these commands, and you can give a timeout in seconds. And what happens the first time you push in a repository where you are connected through HTTPS, they will ask, you will be asked the password, but then for the number of seconds you indicate here, the Git will not ask you the password the other times. So you can put anything here. 3,600 means 1 hour, but you can put 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you want. But maybe you may want to use instead SSH. If you want to use SSH, you have to first create the SSH keys. You have to open your terminal on Linux and launch the command ssh keygen, key generator. And SSH keygen actually has got different options. You can choose if you want to generate RSA key or DSA key. RSA and DSA are two different cryptographic protocols. I would suggest you to create both. Now, if you do man SSH keygen, you have all the options, and in particular, you have the option to create -T DSA or -T RSA. You have also other type of encryption mechanism, but the principal one are DSA and RSA. So what you do, let's start SSH keygen -T DSA. I want to create, SSH. I want to create the DSA key. Sometimes I make mistake. Okay, generating public-private DSA key. Enter the file in which you want to save the key. You can give a name of the file, or you can keep the default. That is a file in the hidden directory .ssh and will be called ed_DSA. So I upset the default, and then you can give a passphrase that is a sort of password for that key. You may also decide not to give any password. And personally, if you are using Vagrant, I would suggest you not to give any password to your SSH key, because then handling it is easier. Instead, if you are not using Vagrant, if you are using a real Linux box, give a passphrase of your choice. At the moment, I'm not giving any passphrase. It will ask again. I will not do anything. and now you have generated the key. Now I suggest you to generate also the RSA key just to be sure. So you just repeat everything. Okay. Now, if you go in the directory .ssh, you will find a series of files. Okay? The file ID DSA and ID RSA are your private keys. You should give those files to no one. Those are secret files. You keep them for yourself. While you are free to give around the public key that is contained in EDDSA pub or EDRSA pub. Now, how does the system work? If you want to access a machine, if you want somebody to authorize access to their machine, you have to give them your public key. So how can we do that with GitHub? Okay, let's go to GitHub. This is a new account that I've created just for this example. And you go to your profile. You wait until the profile is open. Okay, you see a lot of things. And you go to settings. Okay, sorry, you have to go to settings, not your profile. And at a certain point, you have a list of things here, and you have SSH and GPG keys. You click here, and there is now, there are no SSH keys with access to your account, because, of course, you have not had one. So you say that you want to give GitHub your SSH key. You just type a title, my DSA public key, and then you fill here with the content of the key. How do you do it? Well, it's very simple. You just do cat EDDSA pub. Sorry, I made a mistake. The pub one, okay? Not the private. And here you have the key. You copy. And you paste. And you say add SSH key. Okay? If everything is fine, you should find here my DSA public key fingerprint added. Okay. Now, just to make sure, you can also add your RSA key, so you have both, okay? You don't need both, actually. You just need one of the two, but just to be sure, I normally add them both. Huh? And now RSA instead of DSA, you copy. And you paste it, and you add. Good. Now you have given GitHub your public keys. Now you can access any repository with using SSH protocol instead of using HTTPS. For instance, let's suppose that I want to go back and search, and I want to make a fork of the PAX. Okay, PAX course. I go there. All good. PAX course. And now I do a fork. That means that I make my own copy of the repository, okay? Or you can create a new repository, of course. So here I'm just doing the fork just for, because it's simpler. Huh? You may want to do that with your own repository. That's not so important. And now when you click clone and download, you choose use SSH. Okay? You copy, and then when you want to clone, you do git clone. Now you're cloning using SSH protocol. You see? Well, we have to wait a little bit because Pax repository is not so small, and maybe my connection is not so fast. Yes, it's going very slowly this evening. We're only 14%. Anyway, the advantage now is that you can pull and push into your copy of the Pax project. It's not my copy, it's your copy. You did a fork without being asked any password. Okay? Unfortunately, it's going a bit too slow. I don't want to wait too long. I don't know why it's going so slow. It's really almost blocked. There is a problem with my internet connection. Anyway, don't worry. I have another small project here. I made another repository that is much smaller. It's called test here, and I will now clone test using SSH. Copy. This is much smaller, so we'll take very little. Okay, cloning into test. Okay, now you see, if I do git remote, maybe -v, just to have some more information, origin is linked to GitHub. This is a protocol that uses SSH. Okay, it's not HTTPS something. Okay, and as I told you, now you can do a push without the system asking you any password, because you are given access through the SSH key. So let's suppose that I make a modification to something that I have here. This is a stupid code where now I modify something just okay, git commit -a-m. Okay, git. Now I can do just git push. I will push this commit directly to origin, which is a default. Okay, good. Okay, this is just a warning that said that is using a certain type of pushing, and if you want to change the default, something very technical. I will not gonna explain it now. But anyway, it has pushed to the repository. Okay, so you see, master to master. Okay, so it has been pushed to GitHub for Magic Test without asking any password.